So now for a closer look at how the conflict between the United States and Iran could unfold from here, we're joined today by Moamen Gouda, professor of Middle East economics at Hankuk University of Foreign Studies. Professor Gouda, thanks for coming on today.
My pleasure.
So Trump on Saturday called off plans for two of his top advisors to visit Pakistan, and he indicated the ball is now in Iran's court. He said Washington and Tehran can talk by phone. So how is the U.S. planning to navigate the conflict from here?
Actually, I think U.S. is using maximum pressure with limited diplomacy. So the cancellation of the Pakistan visit, but also keeping the doors open, sends a message to Iran that U.S. is still there, still trying to have some sort of connection with the Iranians and so on. But it would not be easy. It would not be just, they will not accept any deal with the Iranians. So, of course, there are some benefits for the Americans. They are pushing harder and harder Iran. Iran is now in a very bad situation. We have also reports that U.S. has been seizing ships of Iranian oil in the Indian Ocean, also in other parts, and even seizing the ships and moving it to U.S. So I think Iranian economy is really suffering. U.S. is putting more pressure on them, and they are trying to push them in a corner. I think sooner or later, Iranians have to negotiate. They have to reach some sort of consensus with the U.S. because I think the time is not in their favor as much as possible.
Right, and Iran's foreign minister briefly returned to Pakistan for talks despite the absence of these U.S. counterparts. After he visited Oman and Russia, how could peace talks between the two sides still take place in the near future?
Yes, I think it will take place, but it will take time as well. It's not easy. I mean, we know from reports also that it's not easy to reach a consensus even within Iran itself. There are many factions inside the Iranian government right now. We have also reports about Ghalibaf leaving his post. So there are actually conflicting news from Iran. So, but at the end of the day, it's the economic stress that will move Iran into peace negotiations. And this is what U.S. is hoping for, pushing them further and further in order to negotiate, in order to reach some sort of consensus. We have also some reports talking about Iran seizing oil, seizing uranium region for 20 years. Still, of course, this is not really clear, but we have to wait and see. However, I think it will take time, more time than we expected, but at the end of the day, some sort of an agreement will be reached sooner or later.
Right, and what's also unclear is who exactly is running Iran right now, as Iran's top negotiator, Mohammad Ghalibaf, has reportedly resigned, and Trump says it's unclear who's running the country. And with a lot of speculation, surrounding the new supreme leader, who exactly holds the decisive power in peace talks right now?
That's an excellent question. Let me tell you that from the perspective of at least economic research, when we are doing political economic research related to this kind of situations, we have like lots of research that talking about hardliners having advantage in the times of economic stress. Usually we have this idea that when we have more economic pressure, we have more problems and so on. People will try to hang out to their latest defense or the most important defense that they have. Also, hardliners in Iran play a major role when it comes to government control and so on. And hardliners are gaining momentum because they think they are in some sort of a holy war. We cannot downgrade the idea that Iranians have when it comes to martyrdom, when it comes to the culture, the Shia ideas and so on of martyrdom, of fighting infidels or fighting Iran and so on. So this is part of the Iranian personality. We should not look away from this. So I think hardliners are gaining momentum, are gaining advantage, which will make it very hard, of course, to reach a consensus. However, at the end of the day, we will need to reach a consensus because they are suffering right now. They cannot continue with this. However, but the thing is, we can talk later, perhaps, how will it happen. Even if we reach a consensus, I think the Iranian regime itself or the Iranian government will find it very hard to hold the country in one piece even after the negotiations. But we will have to wait and see how this develops in the next few weeks.
I see. And in Israel, it launched more strikes on southern Lebanon despite ceasefire agreement being extended by 3 weeks recently. So what's next for the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah?
Well, I mean, it's an ongoing story. It never ends, this ongoing war, of course. For Israel, we are, I mean, inside the Israeli political situation right now, we can see also lots of moves inside Israel right now when it comes to the political factions and so on. There is a move, there is this pressure on the government in order to finish with this fight with the Hezbollah in order to reach also peace. I wouldn't say peace, but in order to eliminate the danger of Hezbollah. This is one big call inside Israel, from my readings, from my knowledge of Israel's political economy situation. On the other hand, Hezbollah will not be easy about Israel, will not make their life easier. So they're also pushing towards more conflict and so on. The people who are really hurting by this are the Lebanese people, actually. The Lebanese government, when you look at the GDP of Lebanon lost almost 30 to 40% of its GDP because of this conflict. So Lebanese government is trying to push hard in order to also reach a consensus, to reach a deal, to finish with this conflict. But I think it will not be an easy task because we have decades of fights, we have decades of pressure, of conflict, of violence. It will not finish in 1 week. We will have to wait and see, but I think with the international pressure, with the US support, with the international community support, I think some sort of a deal will reach also, considering Hezbollah has no sources of aid coming from Iran anymore. So I think at the end of the day, we will hopefully reach some sort of an agreement when it comes to Israel-Lebanon. But of course, we will have to wait and see how things will develop in the next few weeks.
Right, we'll have to see how that goes. All right, Professor Gouda, thank you so much for your time and insight this morning. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.